Ever feel like you're running on empty, even after a full night's sleep? That persistent brain fog, the emotional exhaustion, it's not just you. You might be carrying an invisible burden, an energy debt, from always being on. In this video, we'll expose the hidden ways constant connectivity drains your vital reserves and, more importantly, how to finally pay that debt back. So, let's talk about this idea of energy debt. Imagine your daily energy is like a bank account. Every morning you get a fresh deposit. But throughout the day, every task, every decision, and yes, every single notification makes a withdrawal. The problem is, in our hyper-connected world, we're making hundreds of tiny, unnoticed withdrawals, constantly. We're bleeding energy without even realizing it. This isn't about one bad night's sleep. It's a chronic deficit that builds up over weeks, months, even years. Let's break down the silent erosion of your bandwidth. First, there's the constant ping. We've been sold this idea that being always on is a superpower, a sign of dedication and ambition. But it's not. It's an energy drain. Our brains aren't designed for constant task switching. Every time your phone buzzes and you glance at it, you're pulling your focus away from what you were doing. Even if it's for a split second, that mental gear shift costs energy. Just think about doing that 100 times. Daily debt piles up fast. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. Then there's what I call the digital leash. Remember when leaving the office meant you were done for the day? Now for so many of us, work follows us home in our pockets. The work-life blend has become a work-life blur with no off switch. That expectation to be available, to check one last email, to reply to that late-night message, it means our brains never truly get to clock out and rest. We're in a state of low-grade, perpetual alertness, which is incredibly taxing on our nervous system. This isn't flexibility. It's a prison of perceived availability, and this leads to the invisible tax. This is the mental load of simply knowing you could be contacted at any moment. Even if you're not actively working, part of your brain is on standby, waiting for the next demand. This mental background processing is a huge, unquantified energy cost. It's the tax you pay for being connected, and it's chipping away at your core reserves, leaving you with less mental capacity for the things that truly matter, like your family, your hobbies, or just quiet, reflective thought. So, what does it feel like to be in energy debt? Let's look at the symptoms. First, you get brain fogged. You go from feeling sharp and focused to being completely scatterbrained. You walk into a room and forget why you're there. You struggle to concentrate on a single task, finding yourself rereading the same sentence over and over. Your creativity dries up. This isn't you getting dumber. It's your cognitive function being throttled because your brain simply doesn't have the energy to operate at full capacity. It's in power-saving mode. Next is the emotional overdraft. Have you ever found yourself snapping at a loved one over something tiny? Or feeling a wave of overwhelming frustration because the Wi-Fi is slow? When you're in energy debt, your emotional resilience plummets. Your capacity to handle minor inconveniences is gone. Small stressors feel like massive crises because you don't have the emotional buffer to absorb them. You're running on fumes, and your patience is the first thing to go. And finally, there's the motivation drain. This is that deep, bone-weary feeling of, I just can't. It's not just for work tasks. It's for things you normally love. Going to the gym, meeting up with friends, working on a personal project. It all feels like a monumental effort. This isn't laziness, it's a physiological state. Your body and mind are trying to conserve what little energy they have left, so they shut down non-essential drives. Your get up and go has gotten up and gone. To pay back this debt, we first have to unmask the energy vampires, the things that are secretly sucking you dry. A big one is the FOMO trap. Fear of missing out. Social media and 24/7's news cycles are designed to keep you hooked. They feed our primal need to know what's going on, creating an addiction to information. But scrolling through endless feeds of curated perfection, political outrage, and breaking news isn't just a passive activity. It's an active drain on your emotional and cognitive resources, leaving you feeling anxious and depleted. Then there's meeting madness. Especially in the age of remote work, our calendars have become a back-to-back gauntlet of virtual calls. We jump from one Zoom to the next with no time to process, prepare, or even just breathe. Video calls require more focus than in-person meetings. We have to work harder to read nonverbal cues, and seeing our own face on screen is surprisingly taxing. We often end these days feeling more exhausted than productive. This brings us to the productivity paradox. We buy planners, download apps, and try every new productivity hack, all in the chase for optimal output. But in doing so, we often ignore our most fundamental resource, our energy. We push through exhaustion, caffeinate our way through the afternoon slump, and sacrifice sleep for one more hour of work, all while unknowingly depleting the very core resource we need to be effective. We're trying to rev an engine that's already out of gas. Okay, so how do we start reclaiming our energy currency and paying back this debt? It starts with digital detox dials. This isn't about throwing your phone in the ocean. It's about creating practical, achievable boundaries. Try turning off all non-essential notifications. You decide when to check your apps. They don't decide for you. Set specific no-phone times, like the first hour of the day or during meals. Create a charging station for your devices outside of your bedroom. These small adjustments act like dials you can turn to reduce the constant influx of digital noise. Next, you have to embrace the power of no. This can be hard, especially for people pleasers, but it's essential. Every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, often your own time and well-being. Start prioritizing your energy. Before committing to something, ask yourself, do I have the energy for this? Does this align with my priorities? Saying no to a non-essential meeting or a social event when you're drained isn't selfish. It's strategic energy management. It's about protecting your most valuable asset, and this leads to strategic downtime. We need to completely reframe how we see rest. Rest is not a luxury. It is not a reward for hard work. Rest is a fundamental part of the work itself. It's a productive investment in your future performance. Just like an athlete needs recovery days to repair their muscles and get stronger, your brain needs downtime to process information, generate new ideas, and recharge. Schedule rest into your day with the same seriousness you schedule meetings. Take short breaks, go for a walk without your phone, or just sit and do nothing for 5 minutes. Now let's think bigger. How do we invest in our future self to make this sustainable? The goal is to build a life where you can be present without the constant pressure of being on. This means shifting from a mindset of frantic activity to one of focused intention. It's about doing less, but better. When you're working, be fully present. When you're resting, be fully present. This separation is key to preventing the blur that leads to burnout. True presence is a calm, focused state, not a hyper-alert one. You also need to build long-term energy resilience. This is about creating habits that consistently deposit more into your energy account than you withdraw. This includes the non-negotiables: consistent sleep, nutritious food, and regular movement. But it also includes mental and emotional habits. Practice mindfulness to train your focus. Cultivate gratitude to shift your emotional baseline. Spend time in nature, which is proven to restore mental energy. These aren't quick fixes. They are foundational practices for a life of sustained focus and well-being. Ultimately, protecting your energy is the ultimate productivity hack for today and for the future. We live in an economy that wants to commodify our attention, to drain our every last drop of energy for profit. Resisting this is a radical act of self-preservation. Your mental wealth, your capacity for deep thought, creativity, and emotional connection is directly tied to how well you manage your energy. It is your most precious resource, far more valuable than the fleeting validation of an instant reply or an endless scroll. So I challenge you to start today. Pick one energy vampire and fire it. Install one digital detox dial. Schedule 5 minutes of strategic downtime. Start making small, deliberate choices to protect and reinvest in your energy. You'll not only get more done, but you'll feel better doing it.